Foreigners appreciate only military power. Go abroad and trade to show the populous and affluent nature of our rule. There are many ways of governing well, and they all are order and prosperity. If I just folded my arms and yielded, I would have no face to see our ancestors after death.
Qing 11 Tax Reformation. The Qing 11 Emperor was the second ruler of the Qing dynasty, an impressive warrior and administrator with a particular knack for state finances. He was thrifty in his personal life, keeping a small and inexpensive court and self-funding his travels, whether for business or pleasure. However, his frugality did not extend to his people. The Qing 11 Emperor never raised taxes during his reign. Instead, he consistently lowered them, and, through his meticulous attention, maintained this policy even during wartime. In 1711, he announced his most ambitious reformation: all taxes would be collected based on the population at that very moment, freezing collections for households even if they continued to grow in the future. Open customs. In the 18th century, the world was quickly expanding. Travel was faster than ever, fostering global trade systems that boomed in both volume and frequency. As more merchants arrived on Chinese shores, the Qing found themselves in a position of power, particularly in the face of European expansion. China had many goods that the West desired, such as tea, porcelain, and silk. The empire primarily needed one thing in return: silver, which it used for currency to keep the native economy flowing. European trading companies shipped the metal from the New World to East Asian ports. The Qing kept tight control over local customs, eventually funneling all international trade through a single port city, canton, and moreover through a single merchant guild, the Kohong. Although these measures are sometimes interpreted as limitations that narrowed the Qing economy, the opposite was true, and the consistent import of silver ignited the internal economy, continuing the tradition of strong markets from the Ming era. Stabilizing frontier. The Qing dynasty oversaw a period of immense geographical expansion for China. These new borders were ambitious and required careful administration to maintain and govern. A wide variety of methods were used to stabilize these borderlands. Within China, a special agency called the Lifen Yuan was assigned responsibility for the governance of frontier territories in Inner Asia. However, the Qing also forged relationships with neighboring countries to maintain peace. They established a tributary system with states in East and Southeast Asia, through which they assumed significant influence. Meanwhile, in the far northeast, they signed a treaty with Russia that calmed relations and allowed for trade between the two nations. Ten Great Campaigns. During the reign of the Qianlong Emperor in the second half of the 18th century, China sought to expand and reinforce its borders to the north, west, and south. Between 1755 to 1792, the emperor launched a series of 10 campaigns. The first 3 wars brought an end to several decades of conflict with the Dzungar Khanate and Waray Mongolian Empire in the northeast. Subsequent campaigns saw Qing invasions of Burma and Vietnam, and the suppression of several internal revolts. The Qianlong Emperor widely promoted the 10 Great Campaigns through commemorative works, commissioning painters to illustrate his battles and self-penning poems and documents to instruct future generations on these accomplishments.